I'm about to ruffle some feathers, but just know it's all with love.
I am enough as I am. I am fully.
Welcome. Come on in. This is episode 3 of the 59th Parlor podcast. I am your host, Tony Ray, and I've got a good one for you today. So let's go ahead and jump into it because I don't even want to waste no time, okay? It's 2024, pretty much, and I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing it across YouTube. Oh, how to glow up for 2024, how to level up. This is how you're going to change your routines in 2024. I mean, it never fails. It never fails. We do the same thing every single year. We start coming out with these videos and talking about how we can, change, how we can build these routines. And mine's is one of them. But here's the thing. Remove toxicity, consistency, isolation, dedication, discipline, self-care. We're not talking about none of that. We're not talking about none of that. And trust me when I say I've done it before. I have definitely done those videos where I talked about being disciplined and being dedicated and staying consistent. Like, we talk about the same things. Well, I wanted to give a different perspective this time, which is exactly why I wanted to do some very uncommon. Here I go, talking too fast. Let me slow down and get my life together before I start stumbling all over these words today. But I wanted to do my episode based off of very uncommon and harsh realities, because we always want to paint this bigger, prettier picture of, well, if I do these things, then I can glow up and I can have this transformation and I can reinvent. I mean, clearly that's what my channel is all about. However, baby, we got to get a little real about it, okay? I'm not about to sit here and sugarcoat anything, because why would I do that? If I'm trying to have transformation in my life, I'm not going to sit here and feed you guys some fluff, okay? I don't want the fluff. I want the shot of espresso, double it. So, like I said, none of the talking points are going to be about those standard, typical things, because we already know to do that. What I want to get into is really the perspective of some self-actualization type tips and things that we can do to look inward, okay? Again, we can do all of the outward things. We can be disciplined, stay consistent with our actions, but we need to look inward to really get a different perspective moving forward on how we can really, reinvent and change our lives and do all of the things that we want to do. Let's go ahead and dig into it. Number 1, your choices got you there. Now let your choices get you elsewhere. And let me just go ahead and warn y'all, there is a word about to fly out my mouth. Own your shit. Okay? And I could probably find a better, prettier, non-vulgar way of saying that. But sometimes we got to tell it like a T.I. is. Okay? And that's what my mom used to tell me all the time. You got to tell it like a T.I. is. So I'm telling y'all, like my mama told me to tell y'all, own your shit. I cannot tell y'all how much of an impact this is going to make on your glow up year, on that reinventing moment that you are trying to have. And the reason being is because you have got to stop blaming the world for your bad decisions, okay? Stop blaming the world for your bad decisions, because really and truly every single choice that you've made has gotten you here, regardless of whether you like it or not. I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh, she just said a cuss word, but she say she believe in the Lord. Yes, honey, I do believe in the Lord. But again, it's a word that I'm using for today to tell you how it is. We have to understand something. God gives us the ability to make choices, okay? He gives us the ability to make choices. Whether it comes, whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome after that, at the end of the day, we are allowed the choice, okay? So sitting here just getting all upset and just, going in an uproar because you're like, oh, my life is in shambles, this. Own it. Own all of the bad decisions that you've made up until this point. Like, I'm gonna give y'all an example. I made a lot of terrible decisions with my finances in my 20s, okay? Okay, I'm still paying for a lot of those. But anyway, I made a lot of bad decisions in my early 20s with my finances. So how can I get upset about to daggone near cuss out the bill collector that's calling because they calling to collect on that bill. And what you calling me for? I don't want to hear it. Don't call me, or I'll just plain not answer the phone. But what I'm saying, I'm using that example to tell y'all, why do we get upset when things that we have done are just coming back to bite us in the booty? Okay? So you got to own it. I had to sit and own all of my choices that I made when it came to my finances. I told y'all in my first episode, I'm 32. I'm still paying for things at 32 that I did over 10 years ago. I'm still paying for those things. But at a certain point in time, I had to say, well, I made the choices. I might not have been educated on the choices that I made, like with some of my student loans and this and that. Like, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. When I got to my freshman year of college, they were like, refund check. I'm getting a refund check. And I was like, what about a refund check? And what is it? And let me sign me up immediately. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what I was actually getting myself into. So yes, we're going to make some decisions that we don't necessarily know what we're getting into. We don't know, and we're not properly educated. But at the end of the day, we still made the choice, which means that we still have to be held accountable. So all I'm saying with that number one rule is just own it. And like I said, with it being applied to your glow up year, it's going to make you hold yourself accountable and not put all of your bad decisions onto somebody else. And honestly, it's going to make you think more and be more present minded when you are making decisions, because it's going to make you stop and say, okay, how is this going to affect me down the long run? How is this going to transition my life down the long run? One other thing that I want to mention before I move on, number one is all about willpower. Okay. You got to stop putting yourself in situations or circumstances that are going to force you to make decisions when you know you are not mentally strong enough to make decisions to get you out of that scenario. Become strong in those decisions that you're making. That way you can make sure that everything is going to benefit you in the long run. So my number 2 tip for today, as far as really and truly having that glow up year and what you need in order to fulfill that, is no one or nothing is responsible for your happiness. If you are waiting for that big break to give you happiness, you are waiting all wrong. So I read this book, and the book was literally called Unfuck Yourself. I cannot remember the name. I cannot remember the author, but I will definitely put it in the description box, or I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see it. If you are listening on my podcast, then I'll definitely make sure that I have it linked in the podcast notes down below. But in that book, he mentions how attaching your happiness to a moment in the future can have you missing out on the current that's going on. So the main thing that we want to put our focus on out of that whole thing that he talked about, making that statement, is we cannot attach our happiness to a moment. You guys, I have made probably, oh my gosh, I can't even say how much of my late 20s and probably my year 30 and 31, I spent a lot of time just being so just in a funk. I really was. I was in a funk. I was not happy with myself. I wasn't happy with where I was in life. I already told you guys, I felt like I was behind. I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I just had all of these negative feelings surrounding me. Your happiness is from within. You have got to stop. What I tell y'all the last time? What did I tell y'all? That was my husband calling. We're not even gonna answer it this time because he know I'm recording. Oh my gosh, he gonna be so mad at me if I leave this in here, which I am. But anyway, I spent a lot of time, you guys, just in a really negative mind space because I felt behind. And I had to realize that my happiness was my responsibility. It is not my husband's job to make me happy. It is not a viral video's responsibility to make me happy. That is a moment, okay? When you buy a car, I just had to have an SUV. Had to have one. Soon as I got that SUV, I was happy for about 2 weeks. And then that happiness goes away. We go on vacation. We look forward to vacation. Then vacation is done. That happiness goes away. You want to buy that new, that new purse, or you want to get that new job. You get that new job, and then guess what? You still gonna have something to complain about a month or two down the line. Oh, they training ain't no good, or oh, so-and-so tried me today in the lunchroom. Whatever the case, I'm just saying everything that we want is only a moment, and that happiness only lasts for a moment. You have got to look inward to find some just true bliss within yourself. That is the only way that you are going to survive in this world, because honestly, we see the world it just thrives off of selling. We sell. Everything is, oh, this new bag, this new car, this new outfit, this new jewelry, this new watch or whatever, bracelet. It's the world. That's how the world moves. But if you are always constantly attaching your happiness to things or purchasing things, you're never going to have true happiness. This is going to be something that I highly suggest for your 2024 glow up year. Find your happiness within and stop attaching it to moments in your life. Like even me now, you guys, I have been on YouTube now for 2 years, and I still haven't had that big blow up moment. Now, of course, when that moment comes, I'll be ecstatic. Like I'll be like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard and it finally happened. But then what happens? Okay, I quit my job. I quit my corporate America job. And then I'm working full time as a content creator. Okay, I still have to keep a schedule. I still have to make sure my home life is in order. I still have to film and do all the things that I'm still doing now that, be wearing me out sometimes. I'd be tired a lot of the times. So yeah, that moment, I will be so grateful and so happy for it. But my happiness has to start now. All of that bliss and those feelings of joy, that has to start now. Where I am with my yellow, ugly mustard yellow pillows and all of my dark brown furniture that I have to have that gratitude now. Because, yeah, I be complaining about my furniture all the time. This is definitely not my aesthetic anymore. I am not into the dark colors. Like I am very in my modern chic era. But I'm just saying all that to say, even with what I have, that happiness still has to come from within. Even, yeah, I might be able to replace my couch and replace my pillows and replace my furniture and all that, and I'll be happy, but then it gets old. So allow your happiness to just let it burn from inside. Let it be on fire from inside. Just because you are living your life, you're experiencing life, and you're just happy to be here. Like, happy to be, living and experiencing and just getting to witness all that God has created. Just let that be your happiness. But all in all, like I said, the only way that you are going to find happiness is to look inward. Remove all of those attachments from happiness in the future, because if you constantly are thinking about stuff in the future, you're living in the future. You're going to miss so many years right now. You're going to miss so much time with your families and friends right now because you're not being present-minded enough, because you're waiting on that big moment. Don't wait on that big moment anymore. Let it burn from within and just find that true happiness within yourself. So, number 3, as to, this one is actually a favorite one of mine that I came up with and something that I had to really implement for myself. The pity party is officially dead. Okay? The pity party is officially dead. The woe is me is gone for 2024. Okay? We are not going to continue to make excuses and, so what, you couldn't travel? So what, you gained weight? So what, you got your car repossessed? Look, what else did I write on here? So what, your boyfriend or girlfriend left you? You guys, life is happening to everybody, okay? Now, obviously, if there has been something that has been out of your control, maybe you're going through grief or something like that, I would not ever, say anything about that. You know your circumstances, so you know whether to apply this statement to that or not, is what I'm saying. But going forward, I always used to throw this pity party for myself. I'm going to use my content creation as an example. Oh, my content is so much better. Why is mine not working? well, so-and-so, they don't edit like I do, but this and that. Well, why is it just not happening for me? What am I doing wrong? And do y'all hear how negative that sounds? First of all, that sounds annoying. It sounds annoying. And a lot of the times I would annoy myself throwing a pity party. Like, oh girl, shut up. Like, that's how I would feel, because I'm like, I'm sick of hearing it. Everybody is experiencing life. Everybody is experiencing something, okay? And again, a lot of the stuff that we experience goes back to that number one, where I said your choices are your choices. And whatever choice you made is why you got there. So if you got your car repossessed, honey, that's because you made a choice to not pay your bills. So we're not doing the pity party. We're not doing it moving forward. We are going to focus and prioritize, like I said, making better choices to get us into a different predicament. Maybe you need to spend a little more time doing those ones that I said we weren't going to talk about, doing isolation and removing all that. Okay, though, that's when you can bring all of those into play. But before you bring all of those things that are going to give you discipline and all of that, you've got to have some self-actualization and tell yourself, okay, I'm done with the pity party. What do I need to do? So that one is pretty self-explanatory. We won't spend too much time on that one because, like I said, it is what it is. Moving forward, you are not going to throw yourself that pity party, okay? Don't do it. Anyway, number four. Number four is actually a very easy one. It's simple. It actually is a very common one, and I purposely left this one on there because there's something that is really key about this one that we need to pay attention to, and that's meditate and drink more water. It don't get no easier than that. We have all heard, okay, you got to drink water. You got to stay hydrated, honey. Okay? We got to meditate. But the reason behind meditation and drinking more water is it's going to give you some mental clarity. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. It is going to give you some mental clarity. It's going to block out all of that noise that we experience in life. Okay? If you are going to have any type of growth in your life, if you're going to reinvent yourself in any type of capacity, you need to be able to block out the static white noise. You've got to have a new level of mental clarity that you never had before. If I had to pick any of the normal common things to do, it would be this, which is exactly why I put it on this list. I mean, again, this one is self-explanatory too. You are going to be able to think better, think clearer, make those better choices if you are properly hydrating yourself, fueling your body with the foods and things that it needs to have. And then also with that meditation, you will learn to block out a lot of that noise. You'll begin to not throw those pity parties and, comparing yourself to the world because something is not going your way. You'll be able to block all of that out. And by doing so, you'll be able to keep that happiness that you have inside of you that you've been working on, which is going to keep you in a state of gratitude, and it's going to keep you moving forward. And really, it'll be like you just running your own race. You'll literally be in your own lane at that point, like, just strolling on by. Like, you're not worried about anybody because you're in your own world. And that's what you want to get to in this season, to really just have that total transformation and glowing up, as they say. But last thing that I have, and I wanted to keep this short and sweet because honestly, like I said, these are just a few self-actualization things that really would make a powerful impact. And this one might really ruffle some feathers, but clout chasing is not a good look on you, honey. Okay? Clout chasing is not a good look on you. Listen, Linda. Okay? Listen. You have a God-given talent. You have a God-given talent. You have God-given abilities. A lot of the times people clout chase because they see what other people have and they see what other people are doing, not necessarily knowing whether or not that person is truly thriving in their lives or not, but they just go off of what they see and then they're like, oh, let me replicate that. Let me do it like that. I'm a outshine so-and-so. Listen, I saw a girl that she made a post one day and she was like, please remove anybody out of my life that believes that there's not enough, that God can't provide enough for me and them. Something along those lines. I felt that deep within my soul. Because if we are constantly surrounding ourselves with the thought that there's not enough and we're living in this scarcity mindset, I believe that is what drives people to clout chase. They like, oh, I got to get to the bag before anybody else. I got to take all of the bag and not leave anybody, anything else. I think that is one of the reasons why people, just try to do over and above everybody else, trying to outshine everybody else. Like I said, you are very unique in your own way. If you actually just stopped and looked inward at that, you would realize you have everything that you need right now in your grasp to actually change your life and actually have that glow up moment. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing because you have everything that you need. So 2024, we are no longer clout chasing. 2024, we are going to dig into what we already have, and that's what we are going to put the spotlight on. Because like I said, you are unique in your own way. And if you just took the time to realize that, then baby, I'm sure that you would be in a totally different predicament right now. So I'm saying all this to y'all, but please trust and believe me. I had a whole conversation with myself because I tell y'all all the time on my vlog channel, I talk to myself a lot, and I ain't crazy. I'm definitely not crazy. But I have a lot of conversations with myself. And I believe I do that because when I say things out loud to myself, I feel like I better process them that way. Everything that I'm telling y'all today with these self-actualization things are all the things that I've had conversations with myself. And I was realizing that, yeah, I was throwing the pity party. Yeah, I was continuing to make bad choices. Yeah, I was somewhat clout chasing. Because I kept feeling like I had to outdo everybody else instead of just being my old normal goofy self and allowing, all of my gifts and talents to come to the forefront. But I'm just saying all that to say, you guys, listen, you have everything that you need. You have everything that you need to succeed. You have everything that you need to reinvent yourself. You have everything that you need to have that glow up year, gain financially if that's what you want, gain that new job, whatever the case. You have everything that it takes right now. So I just want to point out an underlying theme before we wrap. There's an underlying theme between the 5 tips that we went over today. Own it, let it go, take control, move forward. Okay. Own it, let it go, take control and move forward. You will have oh Lord, y'all see that? Well, yeah, if y'all listening on the podcast, I almost knocked my doggone microphone over. Anyway, if you are going to have that true glow up year this year, let everything that you've done previously, let it go. Okay? Let it go. It has happened. The time has passed. We cannot keep living in that regret. We cannot keep living in our bad decisions. Everything that you have done up until this point, let it go. I was a college dropout. I told you guys that. I have had to let it go. Okay? I had my children early. I got pregnant at 20. I had my first son at 21. He's the best blessing to me. All 3 of my sons are the greatest gifts that I ever could have received in life. I had them young. I had to struggle. I've let that go. Okay? I've let go of the idea that I was supposed to live my life according to everybody else. No, I'm not. I'm supposed to live my life according to what God has placed on my heart and do whatever it is that makes me happy because this is my life experience. So let it go for 2024. Okay? Own it. Own it. Let it go. And just keep your sights set on, again, looking inward, creating that happiness within yourself, digging in deep within yourself to pull out all of those gifts and talents that you just naturally have and lean into that. And I guarantee, Y'all, sometimes I just can't help myself. I guarantee that you will have the best transformation in the year 2024. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed creating it. Like, I really was sitting down trying to come up with my thoughts and stuff, because I'm like, I don't want to keep on pointing out the obvious. We don't want to keep on pointing out, oh, remove toxicity from your life. Oh, you got to stay dedicated. Oh, you got to stay consistent. We are done pointing out the obvious. We know those things. But now let's look at the things that we don't talk about so that we can actually grow. And I feel like if you guys, use these tips, you will kind of have that aha moment like I just had with myself. Like, girl, you already bad. You is bad. You got everything you need. Okay. Yeah. Let me stop. But that is today's episode. Like I said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below. Tell me if any of these self-actualization tips have helped you or maybe sparked something in your creative juices, and maybe you've come up with another self-actualization tip as well. Make sure you share it below. Like I said, I love going in the comment section because some of the conversations that take place after that are like just hilarious, or sometimes it can be things that maybe I didn't even think about myself. So look, I'm helping you, you help me. Okay, we can help each other. But anyway, oh my gosh, okay, I don't know, I'm losing my mind, y'all. I feel like this goofy urge coming out. But anyway, I am going to wrap here. Once again, thank you guys so much. If you want to keep up with me on my vlog channel and see all of the behind the scenes and how I'm actually transforming my life, then definitely make sure that you check out my other YouTube channel, The Tonirayway. That is my vlog channel, and that is where I actually have a vlog all dedicated to this glowing up and reinventing and becoming her lifestyle. That is all there. And you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the same handle, at The Tonirayway. So I will go ahead and wrap right here. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, loves. Bye.